Hi dears, welcome back to Benidorm by Anna YouTube channel. It's me, Anna, with you here, and today we are on the terrace. It's raining outside, not a lot, but it's uncomfortable. You need an umbrella to film, and it's very cold. It's extremely cold for me, okay? For people who live here, it's extremely cold. I even had to put something like a scarf on top, and I have these things here as well, because it's just extremely cold for me. But in any case, I wanted to talk with you today about a very important theme, in my opinion, and some people asked me about it already. I've decided to do a video about the medical emergency assistance for all the people who are coming from UK here as tourists. Why? Because before it was very easy. You had the European health insurance card, and you were coming here, you knew that since you are in European Union, you will be covered for any kind of medical emergency that might occur here in Spain. A lot of people are worried right now, or just don't know where to search for the information on what is going on once UK is not in the European Union anymore. When all the Brexit has happened, they just don't know what to expect when they come here to Spain, not only to Benidorm, but Alicante, in general, all different areas of Spain. So I found all the information for you guys. I'll also let you know what is the best thing to do, since I was also working in a private hospital. So I had a lot of different cases daily, probably more than 30-40 cases of UK citizens that were coming with different problems to a private healthcare. So I have a lot of things to let you know. First of all, let's start with the public insurance. You know that here in Spain, we have two different options. It's either a public insurance, so that public hospitals covered by Social Security, or there are private hospitals, which are private. You either pay your money in there when you go for a consultation or emergency or anything, or you can have a private insurance to get at least something covered, if not all the entire cost. In this case, people coming from UK, they still are covered by the public health insurance, but only in two cases. So you can either have the UK European Health Insurance Card, it's called. It's EHIC, if I'm not wrong. So you either can have that one, which is still valid here in Spain, or you can have the other card, which is Global Health Insurance Card, which is GHIC. So you can have two of these, and you can use both of them here in Spain. They're both valid. The only thing is they will be covering only emergency things, extremely necessary for your health. Something that happened, I don't know, you fall down, you broke something, or something happened, you're feeling very bad, you need to go to emergency desperately. In these cases, it will be covered. So with these cards, you can simply go to the public hospital emergency unit. You can say that you're here as a tourist, you show the card, and you say the symptoms that you have. If it's really something urgent, then no problem at all. They will attend you, they will register you, they will give you to sign some paperwork that you agree with all the conditions, so that they could send all these documents later on to UK, and you will be attended in a public hospital. Once again, I have here the list of treatments and something that is actually considered an emergency. Of course, it's emergency unit when something extraordinary happens and urgent. It's long-term treatments for a pre-existing condition. So let's say you have some illness, you need to go to the doctor every now and then to check something, or to give you a medication, or to put you an injection, something like this, and you are traveling to Spain. So in this case, if you have all the documents, they need to provide you this service in the public hospital here in Spain with these insurance cards, since it's your long-term treatment and you cannot just finish it from one day to the other. Then it's routine medical care as well, which is very important. It's, for example, if you had any kind of injury or post-surgery, let's say you can travel already, but you need a bandage change or a cleanup or something, of the wound, or the stitches area, anything. This will also be covered because it's your pre-existing conditions. It will be approved by UK, so Spain will accept this as emergency, necessary treatment for you. In case you have all the documents with you, it's also very important. if you are here in Spain, you lost your medication for your long-term treatment. I had these cases in our hospital when people were coming and saying, I'm taking this and this medication, especially if it's with a recipe, then that's very, very difficult to get. And I forgot it, or I lost it, they've lost my luggage, I don't have it with me, can I get a recipe for it? And usually people are coming for the emergency unit to ask for it, because it's a lot easier to get like towards the doctor. In this case, if you have the document that actually says that you need to take this medication and all the doses, everything, if you have these documents from UK, this is why I also say take the documents with you, or a copy. Does not have to be the original document. Take a copy of it or a picture, something that the doctor could see and show to him that you're actually taking this medication. In this case, they will make you a recipe, like the prescription. We call it receta, this is why I say recipe, but it's prescription. In this case, they will give it to you, but if you don't have any kind of document that is saying that you need this medication, they won't do so. So bear that in mind if you are taking something and you are traveling here to Spain, just in case, to be sure. The other thing is the kidney dialysis, chemotherapy, oxygen therapy, and things like this. If it's something that you're traveling for here towards Spain, like for example, you're traveling for your holidays, you cannot change the date, you cannot change like anything, but during these days it's recommended for you to have like kidney dialysis, for example. Then you are contacting with one of the hospitals here in Spain where you will be. They are planning everything, and then your card will be covering it because it's like a long-term treatment for a pre-existing condition. If, for example, you are a future mom, let's say you're pregnant and you're traveling in the last months of your pregnancy, the healthcare, what they don't cover is the birth, like giving birth in Spain, for example, in a public hospital. If it's something that is like emergency C-section, or if it's an emergency labor due to any kind of like extreme condition, then it is covered. But if you just simply decided to travel on the last month and you go into labor naturally, then this will not be covered, and they can either give you a bill to pay, or they can just say go to the private hospital. So like both things are can happen, you know, in life. So make sure that you know that as well when you plan your holidays. But basically these cards, all the emergency things that are not planned during your holidays, they can cover it, like very, very important things that can affect your health if you don't go to the doctor in this very moment. UK actually says that it's something that cannot wait up until your arrival back to UK. If it's something urgent, then you can go and it will be covered. The other thing is that if you don't have these cards, you can still have them. You can obtain them in UK, as they say on the official websites. But if you don't have these cards, if you don't want to apply for them, it's always recommended to get a travel insurance when you buy your tickets or your holidays here in Spain. There are private hospitals, like all the private hospitals here in Benidorm, which are basically two. It's not that there are many. There's a IMED Levante hospital, which is in Rincón de Loix, near the Melilla Benidorm, and like on the back side of it, of Flamingo Oasis, like there in the area. And then there is HCB Clinic Benidorm, which is Hospital Clínica Benidorm. So these are two private ones. Usually the IMED hospital covers almost all types of insurances from UK or Ireland, like in general of that area. And they have a list of all the insurance companies they're working with. So usually when you come there, if you go with the travel insurance, it's not enough just to bring in the travel insurance number, okay? Just to let you know, so that you would not be stressed in an already stressful situation. If something happens, you need to print all the paperwork from your travel insurance. If it's something that you do online with your holidays pack, print all the paperwork, please. Print the PDF document, everything that they send you, print it out, because if not, the hospital will just not be able to find the information about your insurance, because it might be like a small company, but it will be covered once you go out of the country. It will be covered and absorbed by a bigger insurance company, which the hospital works with. If they don't know it, they might just say, well, we think we don't work with it, like go to the other hospital or stuff like that. So to avoid this from happening, to make sure the process is fast and easy for you and for the hospital, bring everything printed. Almost all insurance companies, they have an excess that is needed to be paid once you come to the hospital, to the private hospital. Usually the excess depends on how much your insurance costs, and if it's a full insurance or if it's like a really, really basic one. Usually the more basic your insurance is, the cheaper it is, the higher is the excess that you need to pay if something happens and you ask for the medical assistance. For example, I've seen cases with the full coverage that the excess was like £50 or £60. That's like a small amount for being attended at a great private hospital, like abroad. They cover like everything, basically, like everything that you need. And then I've seen also a very, very like cheap basic insurances that had excess up until £500. Like, it's a huge amount of money. So you need to bear that in mind when you make a contract for a travel insurance, that this is what you will need to pay. Usually they also say the excess that you need to pay, what is covered, and if it covers up until like certain amount of money, or if it covers only certain things. So you need to read this. Don't be in a rush to just having any kind of insurance. Read it thoroughly, because a lot of people that are coming here and something happens, they go to the hospital, they actually say that, oh my God, if I would have known that this will be happening, I would have taken a better insurance. And it's something that will just avoid you a lot of stress when you go to the hospital. You're in a foreign country, you don't know what to expect. You're just afraid, you don't know if people speak your language. By the way, in private hospitals, everyone speaks English, and quite good English, so they will understand you, don't worry. In a public hospital, it's way more difficult. If you're lucky and there is someone who understands you, then it's great. But if not, in a public hospital, they basically only speak Spanish, and that's it. In this case, don't panic. Take your Google Translator, talk to the Google, they will translate it to Spanish, and at least basic things they will understand from then. So it should be fine. Like, best thing to do is just try not to panic and try to stay calm. Have all the documents, all the paperwork, either European or like global health insurance card, or all the papers for a travel insurance. Print all that you need, or take a booklet that they give you if you go to an insurance company to get it. Take everything that you have, all the documents, from when until when it's valid, for whom it's valid, if it covers the family members or just yourself. Everything, the maximum that you can, print it out and take it with you, because it might be necessary. You never know what might happen. Like, you can stay at the hotel, you can go like to the you can fall down at the hotel, I don't know, you can just go to the beach and you can get like sun insulation, you know, like a lot of sunshine, you'll be feeling bad and you'll need to go to emergency. Like, different things can happen in the world, so it's better to be prepared, have all the documents, especially if you're not in your country. These are two ways basically to do. In private hospitals, they do ask you to fill out a lot more forms. They give you, first of all, they ask for your passport. Passport is super, super important. Bring it always to the hospital. I've had situations when people just were so in a rush, like they were so stressed about what's going on, and they just did not bring anything with them, not even an insurance, not even passport. They just had like pictures. And later on we had to admit them, but then people needed to get back to the hotel and bring all the documents back, and it's just going back and forth. It's very like unpleasant moment when you don't need such like additional problems. So make sure you take your passport, make sure you take your insurance card or travel insurance that you have, like all the necessary paperwork. Bring all this with you, and then they'll ask you to fill some forms. One is a client form where you need to fill in like your doctor back in your country, just in case the hospital will need to contact with the doctor to ask the medication you're taking, like anything, you know, just in case. Your address in UK, your contact details, name, last name, the closest family member, the phone number, and things like this. And then they'll give you another separate form, which is the form they will be sending to your insurance to claim the costs, so that you would not have to pay for the treatment. I know sometimes people get very angry, and it happened to me various times. when they see that they need to fill in so many forms. Usually the insurance form might be minimum 2 sheets up until like 6 or 7 sheets of paper. They ask a lot of questions there, but you need to understand that it's not something the hospital is giving you. It's not something like the hospital just gives you because it wants to give so many paperwork. It's something that your insurance company is claiming in order to for you not to pay for the treatment, basically for them to cover it. So it's not the hospital's like fault that there are so many documents. It's just it's necessary for you to have a good treatment and be fully covered with all this. Usually travel insurances also cover hospitalization. Some of them have different things, like some of them cover only emergency and treatment, and others cover both emergency and being hospitalized. So check that as well. It's better to take the insurance that covers both of these things, because since you're going to the emergency room, it's probable that you will get hospitalized, like depending on the things that are going on and what happened. But it's a small possibility, you know. Which is why it's a lot better to have a full insurance that covers hospitalization as well, because a lot of people, they were getting into the emergency room, and then once they knew they needed to be hospitalized, we were checking the paperwork and it said that hospitalization is not covered and they need to go to a public hospital in this case. So check all this. The best thing is to have a European insurance card, but then it's going to be a public hospital or a clinic where they don't usually speak English or like any other kind of language, just Spanish. If you want to go to a private hospital, take a good travel insurance with not a huge excess. Check that as well. Ask them if they don't tell it to you, because they need to let you know what the excess will be for your policy. And there you'll get attended on your native language. You will have a very, very good treat, and it's not going to be as stressful as the public hospitals might be. So this is basically the emergency assistance here in Spain. This is what you can obtain with different ways, either with a social like European health insurance card or with the private insurance. I hope this has helped you a lot, and for a lot of people who did not know how it works out, what you need to do, how you need to do it, and where you need to go, what to bring with yourself. And I just hope that this video will be useful for a lot of you guys that will still be coming to our lovely area of Benidorm. Thank you all for watching. I wish you a lovely day of today. I'm going to see you tomorrow with some more fresh news from Spain and our lovely, slightly cold Benidorm area today. I'll see you then. Bye.